السلام عليكم. حكينا قبل كده قصتين عن المستوى المبتدئ والمستوى المتوسط، يعني من اول A1 لحد B2. عايزين نحكي النهارده قصه نختبر بيها المستوى المتقدم اللي هو C1، يعني هي القصه اقرب الى upper intermediate، المستوى الفوق المتوسط. القصه سهله جدا، ويعني انا شخصيا بحب القصه دي، ولكن هنحاول نصعبها شويه. ايه نصعبها دي؟ ما علينا. كل ما اتكلمت اسرع شويه، وكل ما استعملت كلمات كبيره شويه، كلمات مجعلصه من المستوى المتقدم اللي هو C1 و C2، كانت القصه صعبه. مش مهم بس ان انت تفهم القصه بشكل عام، مهم تفهم الكلمات الدقيقه فيها. ولو سمعت كلمه مش فاهمها ممكن نحاول نكتبها في الكومنتس. ركز معايا وحاول تسمعها اكتر من مره وقول لي فهمت منها قد ايه. This is an authentic story about a newly convert companion of the Prophet, peace be upon him. His name was Abu Abdullah. He tells his story as follows. One day he saw a bunch of women sitting down and he decided that he wanted to talk to them. He put on his best attire and just sat down next to them and started talking. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, saw him sitting down there talking to them, and he told him, "What are you doing?" He said, "I was dumbfounded. I didn't know what to do. I really got confused and scared." And he said, "I had a camel and I lost it. My camel just went stray away. My camel just went astray and I don't know what to do." He said, "It was a lie that I said to the Prophet, but I didn't know what else to say." So the Prophet understood, of course, that he's not saying the truth, and he said, "All right." So the next day, the Prophet, peace be upon him, saw him, and he said, "Abu Abdullah, what happened to your camel?" He said, "I'm still looking for it, Prophet, peace be upon you." Of course, he was also lying, but he did not know how to say the truth and fix and mend what he has done. So he said, "The other day I was walking and the Prophet, peace be upon him, was behind me, and he was walking and I was like, okay, I try to walk really, really fast so he does not see me, but the Prophet walked and caught up to him and said, 'Abu Abdullah, what happened to your camel?'" So once again, he decided that he cannot say the truth. And he continued saying that and saying this lie. He said, I cannot bear to look to the Prophet, peace be upon him, one more time with what I've done and what I'm saying. So he decided that he's not going to see him and try to avoid him and not pray at the mosque of the Prophet. But he kind of had this sense of longing. He wanted to pray at the mosque of the Prophet. And one day he said, I entered the mosque, started looking around, no one is there, okay? He started praying. Now, the moment he started praying, the Prophet, peace be upon him, came and sat next to him on the left. He said, okay, I'm going to pray really, really, really slow until the Prophet gets just bored and leaves. So the Prophet looked up to him and said, take as long as you can, I will stay here and never going to budge. So he finished his prayer, Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum. The Prophet said to him, what happened to your camel, Abu Abdullah? So he said to him, "Oh Prophet, this camel has not gone astray since he reverted back to Islam." Of course, he is talking about himself. He had no flaw. He started fixing everything about his life. And the Prophet knew that, except for this only one tiny, minute, glaring flaw. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, put his hand on his chest and said, "May Allah forgive you. May Allah forgive you 3 times. Such a great story. And a funny story also on the mannerisms of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and the love that his companions had, but also never letting even one flaw that could ruin a man's characteristics pass by like this. I hope that you enjoyed the story, and tell me how much of the story did you get. Peace.